junior season, where he hopes to continue to grow his game and continue being a leader.
I'd say the best defensive performance we've seen from the Bills all season long. 14 points given up, 0 from the starters, 4 sacks, 3 takeaways, plus a safety for good measure.
So in the winter months, when you're practicing your spring sports here at Practice Time Sports, you're not just swinging for the nets.
After graduating from Irondequoit later this spring, Emma Lynn will take her talents to Big Ten member Ohio State after allowing just 8.5 goals per game as a junior and just 7.8 so far this year. But it might be a little bit different of a game of basketball than you're used to, and it's certainly a lot harder. I played in the SEC for 2 different teams. How do SEC fan bases compare to the Buffalo Bills Mafia? National championships is an incredible feat, but this team is putting those wins in the background. Currently on a 42-game unbeaten streak. Round 9 between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes will commence this Sunday with a Super Bowl ticket on the line. Coach Raby has plenty of experience coaching and recruiting here in upstate New York. We're winding down on another great Section 5 football season. We'll start with tonight's game here on SUNY Brockport's field. What does it say about Section 5 and Class AA that we have an 8 seed taking on a 3 seed tonight?
Made history for Greece Odyssey, scoring his 1,000th career point.
It's a free throw. I shoot it all the time.
How much was that kind of a motivating factor when you're actually in the race?
Definitely.
They want to win the whole thing. A victory that would mean a lot more than just another banner. It is playoffs. It's going to be a great atmosphere. How excited are you for kickoff?
Very excited.
Yeah, absolutely, Nikki. I mean, it's gorgeous if you just look behind me, and that can only mean one thing. We're approaching the playoffs. It is the penultimate week of native field. 2 of Rochester baseball's greats signing autographs, and despite the fact they never played for the Red Wings, these 2. 2011 season, you had almost 1,400 scrimmage yards in 10 games. Obviously, you go down with an injury. Do you look at the stats that are being put up now by Christian McCaffrey last year and Saquon Barkley, like, man, I was doing that 13 years ago.
Greatest USA volleyball mind today here at Roberts Wesleyan's gym to help out his own Rochester natives, but also to grow the game.
It's the fastest growing sport.
15-0. That's a Buffalo Bills record in their last 15 regular season games that take place in either December or in January. In fact, if you go back to 2020, they're 20-2 in such games. But why? What makes this team so dominant when the season starts to change? The wind gets a little bit colder, and prime time and crunch time hit the schedule.
Look at that. Delicious. Frankly, delicious. These are some of the best wings I've ever had.
How about this? We have a Super Bowl champion right here in our backyard. But for the community at Gates Chi-Li, Clint Hurt is so much more, Matt.
Yeah, Brett, this is her in 1997 when he committed to the U, Miami. And nearly 30 years later, he's still giving back to the Spartans. Ian Mills reports from Gates Chi-Li.
When you win a Super Bowl and achieve your wildest dreams, it's easy to forget where you came from.
I'm very appreciative for those that were patient with me and helped me, through some tough times.
But Clint Hurt isn't one of those people.
We always text Clint after every game.
I thought I won't hear from him for a couple of days. That night, just like that, he got back to us.
It's people like Donna Baser and Martha Capitelli who helped a young Clint Hurt find his potential.
Listen, I got into a lot of fights in high school. I got suspended a lot in high school. I was not this picture-perfect kid by any means.
Despite a temper at times off the field, Hurts dominated on the gridiron, winning a Section 5 championship.
It was unbelievable. Just the experience I would never forget.
Ultimately earning a scholarship to the University of Miami.
Mrs. Udani and Mrs. Baser, I tell you, I don't know if I'd be here right now if it really weren't for you two.
30 years later, it's a moment that still lives on Mrs. Baser's bookshelf, and that's helped inspire Clint's dedication to Gates Chi-Li now.
It was in that moment that I knew that if I can ever repay and say thank you, I was going to definitely do that in the future.
The Super Bowl champion now living up to his word.
I was looking for a bicycle for a student who got his bike stolen. And immediately, Clint was like, what kind of bike does he need? What do you need? I'll get it for you.
Even helping Mrs. Capitelli when her son got sick.
Somebody started a GoFundMe. Clint was the first one to, and it was a significant contribution that he made. And I couldn't believe it.
As he continues his incredibly successful NFL career, one thing is certain. Clint Hurt will always remember Gates Chili.
There's a lot of people in that community to help take care of me. If I can pass that forward, I'm more than happy to do so.
Nazareth University's head hockey coach George Roll has been the only coach in the program's history. And Coach Roll will hang up the skates at the end of the season. News 10 NBC sports reporter Ian Mills has that story.
Nazareth men's ice hockey is the house that George Roll built, the team's first and only ever head coach. But at the end of the 2024-2025 campaign, Roll will hang up the skates and put a bow on a 37-year coaching career.
Yeah, it's all about me. I'm right.
The first thing you might notice about George Roll is his laugh, the second, his glasses, and then that.
Did you meet James? I'm sorry, did I?
He's not a me guy.
Thoughtful, caring. He's a good guy. He wants to make sure everyone, is doing their job.
In fact, George has always been that way.
And then the biggest thing we were looking for was quality guys, and I can't say enough about this group. It's really a good group, just not on the ice, but off the ice in the classroom. They've done a great job so far.
Wherever and whenever you ask George Roll, his priority will always be his players.
There's a lot of game highlights that I could look back at, but again, it's more about the relationships and the people, guys that I coached 30 years ago, I still keep in contact, so that means a lot to me.
In that same vein, though, there have been plenty of wins, too. A pair of NCAA tournament bids with Division I Clarkson in 2007 and 2008, a national championship game appearance at Oswego in 2003, and, of course, every single win in Nazareth men's ice hockey history.
You talk to him anytime, it's not about wins and losses for him. It's about the people. So, obviously, you want to win all the games you can, but for him, just the people that he brings in.
So was it ever a question that the second head coach in program history would be one of his players?
It's been good to have a year or two for both of us, for him to kind of let me take over some things maybe and have some experiences that will hopefully help me in the future here.
As the program turns its pages for the first time ever, wins or losses, the story of Naz hockey will always start with George Roll.
Yeah, I feel good about the impact I've made with the young kids that have played for me, and but I'm going to miss it. I know that, but it's the right time.
From Brighton, Ian Mills, News 10 NBC.
Coach George Roll's final home game will be Saturday, February 22nd against SUNY Geneseo.